Yeah, Naomi's over there in TNA. She's stuck.
Yeah, she's stuck.
Sasha, I got a feeling Sasha might pop back up in WWE as Mercedes. Like, they might let her rock with that name.
I think they should. I think Triple H will honor it.
Hey, we'll see. But yo, we are recording, so let's get to it. This is Wrestling with the Homies. I'm the homie Qwan, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend, the coolest man in the world, Jake Cooley.
Yeah.
And my boy, Sylvan Sylvan the Don.
Yeah. What's popping, y'all?
What's good, man? I still can't get used to you with this Escobar haircut, man. This man looking like Nas in 97.
This is Nas, Escobar, and Big R. They got my hairline a little bit pushed back too much, so give me like 3-4 weeks. I'm going to be really in the building. Shouts to my barber.
I feel like since I've known Sylvan, he's had like the high top or like the, the curly joint on the top. Like, This is my first time really seeing Sylvan with the Quest haircut, the shaved head.
Yeah, he had it all, man. Oh, you was bald like 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, I was bald. That. I was looking like Tommy from Martin for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When I was back in Miami, but now it's time to get back to being clean, baby. You know what I mean? I'm from Miami, so
I feel it.
Hell
fellas. Do y'all be reading our comments, man? Have y'all been diving into them comments?
I haven't. I need to start.
Yo, I gotta read the comments, man. I love the reception that the show gets, but like we get some comments that are insane. They be mad at Sylvan, bro. Sylvan, what do you be doing? What do you be doing to these people, Sylvan?
I don't do anything. All I do is yell and be passionate. I have no idea why people would be upset with me.
Nah, I'll tell you what you be doing, bro. You have been stamped as the official AEW hater over here, bro.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
AEW hater? Come on.
That's what it's.
That doesn't even sound like me. That's not even. That's furthest from the truth. I actually want what's best for AEW. That's why I'm honest.
Do you
I have
real,
the guts
to, really
to say what's really real. So people can lie to them, if they want, but I care enough to say something about it. I don't hate AEW. Come on.
I will say this though. Cooley is the most unproblematic guy I know because, like, Cooley,
hey man, I be chilling.
They don't have no issues with anything Cooley says, man. Cooley's just the coolest man. He's cooler than the other side of the fan.
I be chilling, man.
But me and you together, Sylvan, I feel like we just a problem waiting to happen. Whenever we get on this camera, it's like something gonna come out that's gonna be crazy, and they gonna be mad.
We should be hated. We should be hated.
I don't want to be hated. I want to be loved. Love me.
I want people
out there love me. Pause.
It's the same thing, love and hate. You can love us, but also hate us. Hate what we have to say. Just keep coming back.
Yo, someone on TikTok, they told me they didn't like that I said Edge flopping. Our Edge in AEW was a flop, so they told me they hate this take and they hate my mustache. I'm like,
the mustache got the works. That's crazy.
What did my mustache do to you, bro? Like, come on.
I like that. That feels good. Coming back.
No, but I love it. I love that you guys are engaging in these comments. So keep commenting, whether it's positive, negative, neutral. You want to tell me you hate my mustache? You want to tell me you love my mustache? Because I think that is fire. Whatever it is, keep leaving these comments below and make sure you are subscribed because we don't like ghosts over here. We are afraid of ghosts. I am terrified of ghosts. The only ghost I like is the Ghost on Power. So make sure you're not a ghost and you are subscribed to this channel.
Smrek.
Why did we just shout out smack in the middle?
That's the wrong move. RIP the battle scene, man.
What you mean?
Yo, relax.
I'm kidding.
What you mean?
No, low key though. RIP the battle scene for real.
It's just not the same no more, man.
Everybody trying to rap like New Jersey twerk now. It's just what I mean.
I'm strapped in,
bro. Once you start seeing like Rex with like twerk mannerisms, it's like, bro, it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Get some new guys in here, man.
I don't know. That caffeine deal seemed like it's what did it to me. And I still watch battle rap like faithfully. I'm a battle rap connoisseur, but it seems like when that caffeine deal came into the picture, you start seeing people like K-Shine leave. Yeah. You see K-Shine and DNA beefing for some reason.
Yeah,
it's like,
I never saw that coming. Yeah, I would have never saw that coming.
It's like, what is going on? But
wasn't Drake behind that deal too?
I think so. Isn't Drake behind Caffeine? Ain't that
I
like
think
his
Drake.
app?
Yeah, I think Drake is like. I think Caffeine is like Drake's app or
so it's Drake's
part
fault.
of his portfolio.
He said it's Drake's fault. Hey, look, shout out to Caffeine. You want to put, Wrestling with the Homies times Caffeine? Hey, I'm with it, Drake. Come talk to us.
Yo, shouts to Drake, bro. We love you over here, man. You know,
Album
Grady
was trash,
P.
though.
Grady
No,
P.
Hey, yo, relax.
Grady P.
Relax.
The EP
Grady
was
P.
cool.
The EP was hard. The EP
It
was hard.
was. It was.
Him-
Him
was dope.
hard.
Him and Cole was barring back and forth, too. Like,
Yeah, that was great. That made me honestly that made me realize that like for the longest, like just personally speaking, I always kind of felt like from a bar standpoint, Drake was like, you know, a few notches above Cole. But that song made me realize, all right, I don't really know. Like these guys, you know, and it's crazy because I've never seen them, I've never heard them rap in that capacity. That was tight. It was great. We need more of that. Like we need more people going back and forth, bro. Just saying.
feel like I had the opposite reaction to that because obviously first person shooter. We all know the reception.
Yeah, we know.
The perception is that Cole got Drake on first person shooter, and I agree with that. But when I heard that joint on the deluxe, I'm like, wait a minute, Drake is not only keeping up, but like you could argue that Drake might have got him on that. So it's like Drake really can do what these other dudes be doing. He just chooses not to do it. He's like
Drake got
MJF.
Cole. He got Cole in the past too, man. You know, at least to me. I don't know how y'all feel. I know
on what Jodeci
How
back?
about Jodeci?
Jodeci back. You know, Drake definitely smacked.
I don't know, man.
Bro,
What?
come on, man. That you know, I go to the hotel lobby and you know see if they got condoms.
bro.
The way that we responding, they know that we black. It's like, yo,
Yeah,
alright,
he
bro.
kind of
like we.
man.
And you started off like that, like we
yeah,
good,
that was
bro.
nuts.
Not at all. Not at all.
And he had
not
that,
at all. You know what I mean?
J.
Cole
Cole
crazy.
first was fire, but he did have that artistic line where he kind of like, you know, I can't really say what he said, but they had to like blur it out on Apple Music and all that. So it's like, Drake, you might be right. You might be right. Drake, Drake might have got J. Cole on that.
Yeah,
Drake
Drake definitely got
J.
J. Cole.
I got the original version on my phone. I'm sorry.
That doesn't count. It's not the count. That's not the version that's out.
That's crazy.
But the point is, Drake can do everything that these bar rappers be doing, but he really chooses not to because he kind of sticks to what he does. That's why I feel like, you know what? Like, I know we all say Roman Reigns is Drake, but like, as far as like talent goes, I almost look at MJF as like wrestling's version of Drake because MJF can really go in the ring and do that purist, all those backflips and springboards. Like MJF can really do all that, but MJF is so married to his character that he sticks into his realm of what works for him. So I love that about him, and I feel like, you know, Drake is the same way because Drake can go bar for bar with anybody. But
yeah, he can.
Isn't MJF an Iron Claw?
He's an executive producer, isn't he? No, he's in it.
I've seen the
for sure
picture
in
with
it.
him.
Oh, he's in
Zac
it.
Efron.
He's
so
in
I
it.
was like, is he in it?
He's in it, and he's the executive producer. We have to go see that.
Crazy.
I wonder if he's wearing that wig.
No, he is, bro.
That's the picture I saw. He had a wig on.
Bro, I thought that was a joke. I thought it was like, we promoting the movie. Here's a wig. Put it on. He's in a movie like that? That's crazy.
I'm sure it's not like a big role. It's probably like he plays a random wrestler that wrestles a match against one of the Von Erichs or something. But
we definitely have to see that.
We have to.
We all go together, bro, as a unit.
That's December 22nd.
Look, if you don't know, if y'all don't know about the Von Erichs, man, listen. We are about to watch. What did the homie call it? He called it Hereditary with headlocks. That's what this movie is about to be because the Von Erich story is tragic. I don't want to spoil too much. Like I don't want to. I love how I said I don't want to spoil too much. Like it's not a true story. But like, if you don't know the story of the Von Erichs, I don't want to put too much out there before you see the movie. But just know that it's gonna be tragedy after tragedy after tragedy. But I have to see it. We got to see it
For sure.
As a unit. But look,
for sure.
Speaking of as a unit, we saw CM Punk return as a unit, but we almost didn't. Cooley had his girl with him, so he was compromised, what we like to call compromised. But we convinced him. We convinced him to pull up during the show, and he came through.
Yeah, we were not gonna allow you to not pull up, man. And it was great.
35-minute drive, man. That was a long drive. Actually, it was 40 minutes. I'm like, damn.
It was 40. And look, I gotta give you your flowers. I gotta give you your flowers, Cooley.
Yeah,
hey, man.
You called it from day one, my brother.
Sure did, man.
Day one,
you've
you've been before CM Punk was even fired by AEW. Cooley was already saying, "Hey, he gonna be back in WWE."
Facts.
And little did we know, Cooley was correct. CM Punk is back.
Survivor Series in your hometown, like, what's sweeter than that? You had to come back that day.
Right.
Like, you just had to.
Yeah, man. You knew better, Cooley. Is that the biggest pop of all time?
It might be. I can't think of very many moments that had a pop like that. Like,
I don't know, y'all. Triple H's return was kind of crazy.
It was crazy.
Triple H.
It was crazy.
It was.
I don't know if it's
But
his
yeah.
Punk level though. This is
Not
insanity.
like that. Like the pop was loud, but the pop was one thing. When CM Punk came out, the pop got even louder, which I didn't think was possible because it was already loud as hell. Yo, that was a moment. That was a crazy, crazy, crazy moment. But I got to tell y'all out there, we almost didn't see that moment. let me walk y'all through this day. Let me walk y'all through this day, right? So, like I said, Cooley was compromised. He had his girl with him, so they were gonna go do their own thing. Sylvan was gonna pull up to my crib and watch Survivor Series because we wanted to see CM Punk return together. But I told Cooley, like, listen, I know your girl with you, but bring your girl, man. You can't miss CM Punk's return. Like, hanging out with your girl, man. Come be with the fellas. Bring her. We can all watch. Cooley was like, I bet. So we get around to like 4:30, 4:45. It's Black Friday weekend, so I'm at the mall. I'm doing my thing. I'm Christmas shopping. I'm just like hanging out. I don't realize the time. I don't know if it was Sylvan or Cooley, but somebody hit me in a group chat and they're like, yo, I'm on the way. I check and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot. These dudes are pulling up to my crib right now and I'm not anywhere near the crib. So I'm running through the mall. I'm pushing people out the way like I'm Sinbad and Jingle All the Way.
Classic.
One of the greatest movies ever. One of the greatest movies
Top
ever.
tier Christmas movies.
Hey, I wanted a Turbo Man toy, and Turbo Man wasn't even a real thing, bro.
Yeah.
Facts.
I still want a Turbo Man toy just for the crib.
Facts. Need that, dog. Facts.
But either way, I get home, and I'm only a little bit late. Like I'm maybe 5-10 minutes late. All we missed was a couple entrances in the women's War Games match, but it's cool. It's cool. We get there. So we watching the show, right? During the show, all of a sudden, they start to tease Randy Orton might not be there. When this happens, we are all just collectively disappointed. Because in our minds, this means that WWE is going to pretend that Randy Orton ain't there. So when Randy Orton returns, he gets a big pop, which probably means that CM Punk is not going to be in that building. So we all disappointed at this point, and WWE is just like pushing this whole thing that Randy Orton's not going to be there. They're like driving it home. We're all disappointed. We're watching the show. The show is cool. Like Santos versus Dragon Lee, right? That was dope.
Great match. Yeah.
The Miz and Gunther, it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But the whole time, it's like it's really hard to enjoy this show because the stain of CM Punk possibly not being there is just heavy on our hearts. So like we're watching the show and we're enjoying what we're seeing, but like we're already set up for the letdown just because of this whole Randy Orton, is he there or isn't he there thing. So we're like, we get to the main event, right? They're still pushing this whole thing of Randy Orton might not be there. Randy Orton comes out. I cheer. We all start cheering because we're happy to see Randy Orton. The match goes. Randy hits JD McDonough with the RKO from the top of the cage. That was ill. Crazy spot. JD be getting his ass whooped, but I love it.
Yeah, poor
bro.
JD, man.
He's getting hazed, dog, for real.
They're making him get his respect like
braids,
early.
man.
Hey, yo, shouts to him with the braids, with the, the certified lover boy braid.
Why did he have the braids? JD, why you had the braids, bro?
That's hilarious.
He really had the braids, but he took that. He ate that RKO from the top of the cage. So shout out to him. That's a very dangerous spot. Just landing head first, like from the top. That's a dangerous spot. So shout out to him. But Randy hits the RKO. 1, 2, 3. The team Cody wins. And at this point, Michael Cole is on the microphone saying that, make sure you stay tuned for the Survivor Series wrap-up show. At this point, we're all so disappointed. I'm looking at Sylvan looking at me, Cooley looking at his girl.
He gonna come out at the end, man.
Nah, man. I'm like, bro, this is it. This is really it.
We was all collectively like, nah,
Bray
this
Wyatt.
ain't happening, bro.
Nah, I was like, this is it. So I grabbed the remote. I'm ready to turn the show off. And Sylvan's like, wait a minute. Sean Ross Sapp just tweeted, my stance has changed. And we're like, okay, what does this mean? Did he tweet that like an hour ago? Or what's the deal? Sylvan's like, nah, he just tweeted it right now. I'm like, nah, ain't shit going on. So I'm looking, we watching the TV. The copyright logo appears at the bottom of the screen, and this is where I'm like, yo, I can't wait to come in here Friday and shit on WWE. I'm like so mad. We are so upset that CM Punk is not going to return. I got the remote. I'm aiming it at the TV. I'm ready to turn the goddamn TV off. And what do you know? Cult of Personality came on those live speakers. I tell you, we lost it in my crib. Bro, I jumped up. I ran into the hallway. Ain't shit in my hallway, but I had to just run somewhere because that's what black people do. When we get excited, we just got to run. So I jump up. I run into my hallway. Sylvan jump up. He's screaming and clapping. Let's go. Let's go. Sylvan. Cooley is kicking. He going. Cooley's girl is sitting on the couch looking at us like, what the hell is going on? Like, she does not understand the gravity of this moment, but we are losing our minds. CM Punk is back. My neighbors is beating on the wall. They mad because we too loud, but like, we don't care. CM Punk is back in WWE. I am still shocked. It's been a week. I am still shocked. I can't believe it. I sat here on this couch and I said that it wouldn't happen, but WWE has surprised me. They have surprised the world. Hell has frozen over. CM Punk is back in WWE. Sheesh. How do we feel about it? How do we feel about it?
Sheesh.
Oh, man. I mean, like you said, Qwan, like, I can't believe it still. Like, wow, it's been 9 years, man. 10 years since he's been back, since the pipe bomb. And I always said that I can't imagine him ever even coming back to wrestling, period. So I was still shocked when he went back to AEW. So for him to come back to WWE is still unbelievable. But I'm happy about it. I'm happy to see what he's capable of doing. I'm happy that I want him to prove the world wrong because we know his past. We know how he is in the locker room. We've seen it countless numbers of times. But
hey, we're already seeing it. we're already seeing it. We see how some people are responding to this return.
Yeah, man. People are
Kevin Owens.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is not feeling it. He's not feeling it.
But his best friends are the Bucks, man. Whatever.
Yeah, the elite, man. Come on, what are we talking about? Yeah, like, and then as we saw that Seth Rollins, that was a work. Apparently.
I think it was a work. Yeah, I think it was a work. Seth was like, he had to be held back by Corey Graves, and he's like yelling "F you," throwing the middle finger up, and it's like, yo, this is kind of crazy, but I think it might have been a work. I don't know.
I mean, I'm still happy he's back. I see a lot of people that used to watch wrestling is happy that he's back and going to start tapping back in. I'm like, this is insane, Facts. Man. This is a huge move for WWE. CM Punk, Chicago-made Punk, is a needle mover.
And listen, I don't know how people felt watching Survivor Series. It was a great show. Obviously, like in hindsight, it was a great show. I don't know how people felt at home watching it. So if y'all can let me know below how y'all felt watching it. But we were very disappointed watching this show. Like, it was hard to enjoy what was happening because the stain of CM Punk possibly not being there affected how we felt about what we were seeing. So now looking back, obviously with CM Punk return, it's like, yeah, that was a great show. But at the time, it was like, are they really going to do this Randy Orton angle to us, man? Is this that overbooked WWE stuff? Because it almost felt like the MJF ambulance angle from Full Gear. Like, Randy Orton might not be here. He's not answering the phone. We were so disappointed, bro. Like, I swear at some point I looked at Sylvan and I said, yo, I can't wait to come in here and shit on WWE this Friday. Like, I was so mad only for CM Punk to really return. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I didn't understand that Randy Orton's not here angle, though, after Twitter and Instagram was posting that he's going to return. So I was like, what are they doing? What's going on here? What are we talking about?
It was like, why? This is unnecessary.
Yeah.
Sylvan.
CM Punk, man. He's back.
Look, man, when I called CM Punk a cancer and a disease, and I ran it on him.
Oh, he's about to walk it back this quick. He's already walking it back. He's already walking it back. Because, like, don't forget, we are blocked. We are blocked by CM Punk for a reason. And the reason his name is Sylvan.
You know what I mean? Look, man, look, I said it from the beginning. I said all those things. And then what did I say right after? But I would love to see that guy in WWE. So I'm happy. I think this is great for business. I love that he's made this move. I love the fact that he had to go to AEW to realize that he's actually a WWE guy after all. It feels very serendipitous to me. and a lot of prophecy from that pipe bomb. Vince McMahon's son-in-law is running the company, just as he foretold. And now he is,
That's
and
crazy.
now it's crazy. And now he's back over there, more popular than he's ever been, more of the man than he's ever been in his career. And he's working with a guy who truly understands wrestling booking. And I'm really happy for Punk. I'm happy that Punk's pride didn't get in the way. I know Punk has said a lot of terrible things about WWE.
Oh my God.
And has gone seemingly out of his way to kind of tear the company down. But I'm glad he looked past that to do what's best for himself and do what's best for us, which is to be able to witness him in a myriad of classic matches that otherwise we would have just been sitting back looking like, dang, this will never happen. And now we get to see it. Now we get to see Punk versus Roman, Punk versus Seth, Punk versus Kevin Owens, possibly Punk versus Stone Cold. I don't know. Punk versus, Punk versus the one I'm really excited for, honestly, Punk versus Cody. How incredible that's going to be, right? So I'm very excited about it. I'm very happy that he decided to make this choice. This is good for wrestling. This is good for WWE. But look, the verdict is still out. Let's just keep it a stack. The verdict is not inside; it's still out. And we saw this same response when you went to AEW. Everything was peaches and cream, and everybody was having a good time. And he was just so great. He had all this good backstage morale. And 2 years later, so the verdict is still out for Punk. I'm very happy for you, Punk. But I like Cooley said, man, I want you to make us proud. I want you to give us the Punk that we know, which is someone who stood up for good business and for great booking and can do business in a very professional way and show up and do his job. Can you do that? We gonna see.
We don't know.
We gonna see.
Look, Sylvan said the verdict is still out, but I don't think that quote even helps you understand like the gravity of this situation. Because like when CM Punk walked into AEW, it was all peaches and cream, but it was all peaches and cream across the board, 100%. Right now, with CM Punk being back in WWE, we are already starting to see a couple wrestlers, a couple guys backstage kind of side eye and be like, I'm not really digging this. For instance, Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens was asked in an interview the other day about Randy Orton returning, and he had nothing but glowing reviews for Randy Orton. He said that Randy Orton is a leader backstage without saying he's a leader. He's fun to be around. He loves having him back. He just couldn't close his mouth about Randy Orton. But then when they asked him about CM Punk's being back, what was his quote? He said, I just want to have fun at work. So if that's where his mind's at, cool. That was his response to CM Punk being back, which lets me know that Kevin Owens is not very thrilled about having to work with CM Punk again. And I'm seeing a lot of those sentiments like in other people. Drew McIntyre doesn't seem like he's very thrilled about CM Punk being back.
Yeah, but we know what that's about. We know what that Drew stuff's about.
It's a whole lot of contract situation.
Yeah, deeper than the Dougie.
Yeah.
And I feel him. What? Deeper than the Dougie? What is it?
It's deeper than the Dougie, man. When things is deep, it's deeper than the Dougie.
Hey, and I feel, and I honestly feel Drew McIntyre on that because it's like, how you not gonna re-up on my contract yet, but you went and signed CM Punk? I know CM Punk ain't come cheap. Like y'all had to give him some bread. So where my money at? That's probably how Drew McIntyre is feeling. But yeah, like it's not seeming like a lot of the locker room are digging this. So how long will this last?
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because when we talked to Big E on our last podcast, he was very adamant that like, hey man, when you're speaking about Punk, you either feel incredible about him, like he's the best guy ever, easiest guy to work with, or you hate his guts. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it in real time when we see these wrestlers speak about him returning. It's either this guy is the easiest person to ever work with, one of the most charming, incredibly kind guys ever, or it's guys like Kevin Owens who are just like trying to keep it PC because they know how they really feel about him. I don't know how long that lasts, but this is a different company. This is a different type of management. But
so was AEW.
Yeah, but AEW, the difference between both, is that AEW is run by the Asylum. And let's just keep it a being. Like, you got wrestlers for EVPs. Tony is a new business owner in terms of running a wrestling company. He's learning just like everybody else is learning. This isn't that. We're looking at guys who know what they're doing, who have been in the business. And Punk has adapted to the WWE style of doing business. And I think he needed to see what life would actually be like with him in a different company with the quote unquote ideals that he thought he represented and what that actually looks like, and be like, oh, you know what? This is actually what I really think about the business. And so him coming back to WWE to me is like him humbling himself and letting go of his pride and saying, you know what? I went around the world. I did some things, learned some things about myself, and, things seem to have changed and be a different company now. Let's see if we can get jiggy. So I'm not mad at the guy. Not at all,
man. I'm nervous. Cooley, you think this is going to last, bro?
It's going to last, man.
You really believe this is going to last?
I believe Cooley now more than anything. So
look it, man.
Cooley say it's going to last, it's going to last.
Yeah, Cooley's right a lot of times, bro.
Cooley say it's going to last.
Look it, man. Like, why go through all this trouble, all this havoc, just to come back to a company that you literally slandered in the past? For what? What is the reason? And you could have just stayed retired. You could have just rolled off. But then again, why would you want your legacy to be,
Yeah.
What happened with AEW? So he got to rebuild that, and I feel like this run is going to rebuild that legacy.
Look, I hate to say this. I hate to say this, but y'all sound mighty optimistic right now, and don't forget the things we have said about CM Punk on this podcast are well documented. They're on YouTube right now. We can go back to episode 7, episode 8. We've all voiced our opinions on CM Punk the person. So it's like, I know that we all happy and we're optimistic about this working out, but at the end of the day, history is history. Like, we've seen how it went with CM Punk the first time around, led to him getting fired on his wedding day. We saw how it worked out in AEW. Led to him getting fired a couple days after the biggest show in AEW history. And it's like, what from that makes you believe that this won't end the very same way? Like, that's just what I want to know. Like, did we think that CM Punk changed who he was in the last month?
I think I'm gonna be
let's be real.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm just gonna keep it a stack. I think CM Punk is finally in a place right now where he is who he always thought he should be. Like, he always wanted to be the number one guy. And when he was the number one guy in WWE, it didn't feel like he was completely the number one guy because we had Cena, or we had Randy Orton, or he had a makeshift world heavyweight title reign that, didn't really amount to much. Even when
that title reign was fire. Let's not do that. That title reign was incredible.
I'm not saying it wasn't incredible. Like, the 445 day one was incredible, but like the first one,
the main guy was Cena. Yeah,
but the main guy was Cena. And then the first one he had, let's not forget, like, he did some cool things, but it didn't feel like they were treating him like the champion. And I feel like now he's entered the company as the number one guy. This guy has 3 of the slots in merch. I'm just saying, bro. Like, we not gonna deny facts. He's the number one guy right now, man. Like, I'm just saying, this is what he's always wanted. Like,
over LA Knight?
Over LA Knight, bro. Over Cody Rhodes.
Okay,
Cody Rhodes
so I don't want to knock y'all off your high horse. I'm sorry, and I don't want to sound like I'm being negative about this. I'm so happy that Punk is back, but
I'm not saying that. Look, I'm not.
He's not the number one guy. Overnight. Come on, man.
I'm not trying to I'm not saying this in a sense of being like, I believe that, right? I'm saying that in a sense of like the perception. Like, he's really into the perception of things, right? Like, he returned at Survivor Series. He's the number one guy, biggest pop. I got the top merch selling thing. Like, I feel like this is where he's always wanted to be. This is how he's always wanted to be treated. This is where he always believed that he should be at. And he's fought for that. The same way Stone Cold fought for that. The same way The Rock fought for that. The same way Triple H fought for that. But for some reason, he just could never cut through because of John Cena. And now this is the time. So I think that if any reason why he would stay is because he feels like he's finally being treated how he thinks he should be treated. And that's real. I understand it. That's the only reason I could give it.
I will say John Cena Part 2, John Cena Jr. is on that roster right now, and his name is Cody Rhodes. And I do want to remind y'all that CM Punk having the #1 selling shirt in the company, it sounds good when you say it, but it's misleading. He has the #1 selling shirt in the company right now for this week. But it's like, overall, we all know who moves the most merch. His name is Cody Rhodes. So make sure you put some respect on Cody Rhodes' name. I'm not even a Cody Rhodes fan like that, but like, we're not just going to pretend that CM Punk walked back into the company and now Cody Rhodes is yesterday's news. He's still the John Cena of today. Like, let's just be clear about that. But yeah, man.
It's two ways. It's two ways this CM Punk thing can go, man. He either can go like Shawn Michaels' second run. We all seen his second run. Yeah. No. Or Ultimate Warrior's 1996 run.
Oh, my God.
That's crazy. He's not going to have an Ultimate Warrior 96 run.
It can go either way. That's all I'm saying. I hope it's the HBK side, not Ultimate Warrior.
I just think the stars have aligned for CM Punk selfishly in a way that he's always wanted them to. And when you're ultimately, we got to look at things like this, right? Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? The only difference between Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock Stone Cold Steve Austin and a CM Punk is that Stone Cold Steve Austin was treated like he was Stone Cold Steve Austin when he started getting hot.
Yeah.
He was the guy. There was no, I have the championship, but, The Rock is here. Or, I'm doing this, but, this person is getting all the acclaim. Like, he was the guy. He was the hottest selling draw in wrestling. And I think Punk has been severely frustrated at that fact that no matter how high he tried to climb, there was just always a John Cena. There was always something going on that wasn't the main event. It was always The Rock pulling up and headlining WrestleMania. It's just like, he's not being celebrated for who he is. And he goes to AEW and, figures maybe he can do it over there, and then realizes that he's not aligned with their business sense. Right. And now he's pulling back up, and he's finally being seen as the guy that he's always wanted to be. And in my opinion, if he is going to stay, I don't know. But if he is going to stay, that would be the reason. It's that he feels he's being treated how he should be. That sounds like Punk to me.
Did y'all read the rumors of apparently there's a behavior clause or something in his contract?
Yeah, I read that.
Whoa,
that's crazy.
I wonder what that even looks like. If he gets out of line, we can fire him with no pay immediately. What does that even look like?
He's a very passionate guy, man, about his craft and his work. That's all that it is.
You got to be a wild boy though to have a behavior clause in your contract. That's like some Draymond Green shit. Damn, Punk. But I don't know if it's true or not. Hopefully this works out because we all know CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time. I am very documented on this podcast of saying that. So I really do want this to work out. But at the same time, I just don't want to be naive and kind of ignore the entire history of CM Punk. It has never worked out. Just being honest, it has never worked out anywhere with CM Punk. It works out for a little while, but eventually CM Punk turns into CM Punk, and we get CM Punk things. We get him choking Jungle Boy backstage. We get him going on Colt Cabena's podcast and airing out all the dirty laundry in the company. We get fights with Hangman Page and the Young Bucks. So it's I can't ignore all that and just pretend he's back in the company I love, so everything's going to be fine. Like you two fellas are doing right now, but I really hope it does because, like I said, I love CM. Don't give me that face. That's kind of what you're doing, Sylvan.
It's not what I said.
You sat here on this podcast and said CM Punk is a cancer. He's a virus. Matter of fact, we are blocked. We are blocked by CM Punk to this day because of that rant.
I still believe that, by the way. I apologize to Punk, and I still believe that, by the way. Look, CM Punk is 50 Cent. 50 Cent doesn't start every beef he has. In fact, I don't think 50 Cent has really started any beef that he's had. But there's a common denominator in how he responds versus how other people respond.
Right.
And I think there's a common denominator in how Punk responds versus how maybe, let's say, a Randy Orton will respond or somebody else will respond. And because of that, we got to call it for what it is. Like, he may be vindicated and have his righteousness as to why he does what he does, but it's a common denominator. It is CM Punk. And do I think he's still a cancer? Do I think he could be a virus? Absolutely, bro. It hasn't worked out anywhere that he's gone. But I think the reason why it hasn't is because he hasn't been seen who as the draw that he feels he actually is. And this run feels like he might actually be that guy.
AEW gave him his own show.
Yeah, after he
how much more could you make somebody the guy?
Bro,
what are we talking about?
Bro, CM Punk at the end of the day, when he was in AEW, like you said, Qwan, and you know, I got to give this back to you, because I remember when Punk first debuted and he was doing all these side mission feuds. I was like, I'll give it some time.
Yeah.
Let him just, you know, run around and put other people over. It'll be good for the company. It makes these other guys feel like they get a little bit of a rub. That wasn't the right move. Waited a whole year and then got the championship, and then problems started happening. So I just think that in this scenario and in this case, I think that he's being positioned to where he's always wanted to be. It's no different, in my opinion, in a lot of ways than Cody Rhodes. Like, Cody Rhodes left, you know what I mean? But he left on his own terms. He asked for his release, and then he just got to work. And then he started doing a bunch of stuff. Yep. And then he went to AEW. And then he realized, oh, you know what? This may not be the environment that I need to be in. Let me go back to WWE. The only difference between a Cody Rhodes and a CM Punk is that CM Punk was in WWE and felt he should be treated differently based off of who he is as a top draw in the company. And since he didn't feel that way, he left. And he left with his mouth open and disappeared from wrestling because there wasn't any type of alternative.
Right.
Let's just keep it a stack, right?
Right.
So I still feel he's a cancer. I still feel he's a virus. I did apologize to him because I didn't see the perspective of AEW. But the verdict is still out. For all I know, he could have a wrong booking decision, and then it's just back to, you know, heat in the back seat, you know, heat in the backstage, and
right.
You know, CM Punk has problems with Kevin Owens. They just got into a fist fight. Next. I don't know.
I wouldn't be shocked. But I do feel like this is CM Punk's last chance. At the end of the day, everything else, it might be cute, but at the end of the day, this is CM Punk's last chance. He already, excuse my language, but he already fucked this up once. He went over to AEW, left that bad taste in our mouths. Pause. So it's like, now that he's back in WWE, if it goes bad here, we might not ever see CM Punk get another job. Like, if CM Punk's run in WWE doesn't go the way that we feel it should go, and he ends up fired or disgruntled, we might never see CM Punk in Impact or anywhere else. That might just be a closed door. So I'm sure CM Punk is very well aware that this is his last chance to make a lasting impression on wrestling fans, and a positive impression at that. So hopefully it goes well, man. I want to see it go well, but like I said, I'm scared. I'm nervous. CM Punk, don't let me down, man. I love you like a brother. You my guy. I've been watching you since Ring of Honor 2004. I remember the wars that you had with Samoa Joe. I remember the wars that you had with Nigel McGuinness and Bryan Danielson. Like, I remember all that. Don't let me down, CM Punk.
Bryan Danielson.
No, we gonna get into Bryan Danielson later, but yo, Tattletalianson, I don't know what you was on, my brother. Man, I can't believe I got to come on this podcast and like trash Bryan Danielson, but that was
yes, you do, brother.
Moving like a sucker, bro. Moving like a sucker. But we're going to get into that later. But I want to know how y'all feel about CM Punk being back, man. Is this going to last? Is everything all holding hands and whistling Dixie? Or is this going to go bad? Is this going to go bad like it always does with CM Punk? Let us know down below how you feel.
Listen. Moment of truth is here, Tony Khan. The moment of truth is here, Tony Khan. You know what I mean? Look, brother.
What is it with your beef with Tony Khan, bro?
I want better for Tony Khan. So I'm on his head top. I need him to do better. I'm on his head top until he does better, man. You know what I mean? I'd be, bro. If we had this podcast in 2015, 16, I'd be on Vince's head top like crazy, bro.
Nah, you would have been on Dixie Carter's head top.
Yo, I would. Yeah, I'd definitely be on Dixie Carter's head top for sure. Yeah,
hey, Dixie Carter, I hate these days. I ain't gonna hold you.
That ain't bad. Yo, it's not bad. It's not bad. You know what I mean? But you know, look, if this was 2011, bro, if we even had the foresight to have a podcast in 2008, I'd be talking about Vince every single podcast, man. And
Bro, we all would be, man.
Bro, Tony Khan doesn't get this exemption. The moment of truth is here, Tony Khan, AEW fans. I also want to talk to you guys as well. Let's just keep this a stack. It's time for you guys to have your moment of truth and your moment of clarity. You are not a sports entertainment company. Now, I know you guys like to fancy yourself as a pro wrestling company, but the fact of the matter is, and I've talked about this before, you guys move subconsciously like a sports entertainment company. You hire sports entertainers, you hire guys who come from WWE, you try to put them in position to be in major feuds. In fact, one of the most interesting feuds that's happening in your company right now is Edge versus Christian. I mean, my God, come on. My goodness. And not a prime Edge and a prime Christian. Two guys who I love and respect. And even though I do think Christian is very much in his prime in terms of
facts,
in terms of like his work and his character work, it's incredible, man. This is the Christian we've always wanted to see. But these guys are very much, they're at the tail end of their career, man. Like we know that they're gonna retire out together, man. And look, Punk. I mean, man, where do I start with you, Tony? Tony, like you fumbled.
I knew this would be your angle.
Bro,
I knew this would be your angle, bro.
You fumbled Cody. You fumbled Cody Rhodes, bro. For the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. Okay. Respectfully. You watched him become a star. You fumbled Jade Cargill, and I don't think you had any type of bag that could have kept her there. She just was not going to stay there. And that partly isn't even your fault. She has money. She doesn't really need your open bank account. Like she's trying to be great, and maybe she just feels like she can't be over at AEW to do that. So she went to the other side. But man, you fumbled CM Punk, man, over some EVPs, bro, over Kenny and the Young Bucks, bro. Like good. You know what? Good. And, I want to add more to this, right? Because recently we just found out about QT Marshall. And QT Marshall, in my opinion, was one of your integral pieces to storytelling and training wrestlers. And he comes from the cloth of sports entertainment as well. Mm-hmm. And, I'm not going to get too much into that. But he also represents a line of other people that come from the sports entertainment cloth, like the William Regals, who only stood around for a year or so. Mm-hmm. That you also left. That also left the company as well. So it shows to me that you guys at AEW, behind the scenes, Tony Khan, Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, all the executives, you don't want this style of booking. You don't want this style of approaching wrestling to your wrestling product. I fully understand. Yet you guys act like you want to compete. You act like you want to keep continuing to be on their head tops, and you keep signing their leftover talent. No disrespect to anybody that's over there, especially you, Swerve Strickland. I'm very glad that you are doing all of the great things that you need to do over there, because quite honestly, I don't know if the window of opportunity you had in WWE, you would have been able to do that. So this isn't about that. My problem, Tony, and my problem, AEW fans, is that you guys are a pro wrestling company, but you don't book like a pro wrestling company. You book like you're trying to be a poor man's sports entertainment company. You kind of do like half-ass storylines that haven't really been as compelling. They don't really go anywhere. You kind of have half-ass feuds. And the reality is that you really just want to book matches, competitive matches, in and out. You don't really want to build a lot of things. You don't really want to take the time to create vignettes. You don't really want to take the time to have recognizable character work beyond the wrestling space. And so can you take this time and this moment to humble yourself 5 years in to realize, okay, we're not a sports entertainment company. We actually are an alternative product, because you guys aren't moving like that. And it shows. You're kicking out all the people that know how to advance a wrestling product beyond that. And if you don't want that, then when are you guys going to be actually truthful with yourselves that you're just a wrestling company, that you're just a professional wrestling company? What's the identity behind All Elite Wrestling? I know the identity behind Impact. I know the identity behind New Japan Pro Wrestling. I know the identity behind WWE. I don't really know if I know the identity behind All Elite. And the reason is because a large amount of your identity is tied to WWE. It's tied to the fact that you wanted to create a product that was better than the competition because WWE was in the dumps at the time. So much so you brought Chris Jericho to be your first AEW champion.
Le Champion.
You had Cody Rhodes in the mix, a former WWE person. And now that that's over, now that WWE is hotter than it's ever been, this is the hottest WWE has probably been since 99, 98, 99. Undoubtedly. Now that that's the case, how are you going to dig in your heels and really begin to define who you are as a company? Because you guys aren't competitive. You're not competing with WWE. That is not the case anymore. If there's anything about your numbers, your talent, your approach to wrestling, it has nothing on WWE as a product currently. And let's just keep that a stack. And the reason is because you've been trying. Let's keep that a stack. It's because you've been trying to compete. You've been trying to compete with the product. Now you're in ring, great. In ring, incredible.
Yeah, the quality of the show is still great.
Why can't we continue to figure out how to expand beyond that? Why can't we start that there as the base of what your company is really known for? Because right now it just feels like a wrestling company with some promise and some really passionate fans who refuse to go back to the other side. That's what it feels like to me. I just don't feel like All Elite really has an identity right now. And that's my TED Talk. That's my TED Talk. I feel like this is the time. If there was ever a time with CM Punk leaving, with Cody Rhodes leaving, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be more talent that's leaving, and then with QT Marshall out of the picture, I don't really know what you guys are doing. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know the conversations are happening. I don't even know what compels you, Tony Khan, to have to fire CM Punk over a Jack Perry.
It was more than Jack Perry, man. Jack Perry was like the final straw, but it was a lot that led up to that, man. Like
everybody was saying fire him
over a Jack Perry.
We even said that he should have been fired. So let's not
over a Jack Perry. And what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that your decisions have to start aligning with the ethos of your company, and it doesn't. Like the decisions that Tony Khan is making right now, it tells me that he's not a sports entertainment company. But the booking and how he talks online and how he acts towards WWE, it shows me that he wants to be them. So, like, is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one mic? Is it Black Girl Lost or is it Shorty Give Me Some Ice? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've been real all my life.
One mic.
But are you being real with yourself, Tony Khan? Are you being real with who you are and what company you actually have? Because right now you have a professional wrestling company.
Sylvan,
that's my TED Talk.
Cooley, you got anything you want to say to this man?
I was gonna say we know what AEW's identity is, and it's 3 words.
Well,
it's World Championship Wrestling.
Come on, stop.
Cooley.
That's
I
didn't talking about?
Come on, Cooley. Come on, man. You don't have to say that. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say that.
Go there. Good Lord.
I mean, no sugarcoating over here, baby.
It's facts.
Damn. Okay. So here's my thing. How old is AEW?
5 years going in.
They're only 5 years old.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes we forget that fact. AEW is absolutely having identity issues right now. I will agree with that 100%. But they're only 5 years old. They're still figuring this thing out. I think the issue right now with AEW is they are trying to please everybody. Like we all know, WWE they're firm in their sports entertainment. At some point in 2013 or whatever, they understood that they were going to be an entertainment company whose baseline was pro wrestling, and they ran with that until the wheels fell off. Over in AEW, they're trying to please the sports entertainment fans while being true to pro wrestling at its core. And because of that, it almost becomes a disconnect. Like when we were at Full Gear, for instance, right? The entire show was just pro wrestling after pro wrestling after pro wrestling after pro wrestling. But then we got to the main event, and the main event stuck out like a sore thumb because the main event was all sports entertainment. It was a fake injury. It was the ambulance pulling up. That was the type of stuff that is for the kids. That's the type of stuff that WWE does. It's not the type of stuff that most people tune into AEW to see. But AEW is trying to please them, and they're trying to please the pro wrestling fans. At some point, AEW needs to decide whether they want to be a sports entertainment company and try to grab the same fans that WWE has, or if they want to be a pro wrestling company and just cater to pro wrestling only and leave sports entertainment alone. Because you can't have one foot in and one out. You can't half-ass it, because what you do when you do that is you ostracize the fan base and you make people feel like they're going to push back against when you do this side because they want that side. And that's what we saw. When we saw the MJF injury angle, the sports entertainment angle, we saw AEW fans who love AEW pushing back against AEW because that's not what they want to see. You don't want to turn your fans off your product like that. So you need to decide today whether you want to be sports entertainment or whether you want to be New Japan Pro Wrestling, but in the U.S. And I feel like once we make that decision, we can go forward very smoothly. But the thing is, you got to make that decision. You can't just have one foot in and one out. You can't try to please both sides, so it's never going to work.
So you guys truly believe that both can never work at the same time?
You can have elements of both, but you can't just like try to. It's like you got to look at Drake. I hate to compare them to Drake because Drake is Drake, and obviously Drake is like the biggest artist in the industry. But like, look at Drake. There's a certain fan base that wants straight up raps from Drake. They want the Alchemist beats. They want the Benny the Butcher features. That's what they want from Drake. Drake can do all that. If Drake wanted to give us that, he can give us that. But at some point, Drake decided who he was, and that was the pop star. That was the biggest artist in the industry. That was the guy who was making songs for women, making songs for young teens and girls that they can play on the radio over and over and over. Drake decided he was that. So he lives in that. Now, every now and then, he might give us one of those boom bap records that we want to hear, but at the end of the day, Drake is always going to be true to Drake. And that's what AEW needs to do. Be true to who you are. Don't sports entertain us to death and try to do what WWE does. Just do your New Japan style wrestling and leave that to the other side. Leave the sports entertainment to WWE.
Yeah, that's what they want, man. You know, this isn't I know we were just joking before, but this isn't WCW. WCW was a sports entertainment company. It just was. You know, it really was a sports entertainment company. They were sports entertaining better than WWE at a certain point. And that's the reason why they were able to win in those ratings for 3 years. But with AEW, they're caught in between. They don't really know what it is. I mean, I feel like their heart and soul is based in professional wrestling. But so I think their aspirations, Tony's a billionaire. He wants to compete. So his aspirations are, we want to be the next WWE. Let's just keep, and that you can't work out. You can't be living both. You got to pick one.
I hate the feel of these AEW topics because they always sound so negative. Like at the end of the day, we have to realize that AEW is not in a bad spot. Like obviously, yeah, but the tone of these conversations is always like what AEW is doing wrong. At the end of the day, AEW is never going to be WWE. WWE is a mega machine. It's a giant at the top of the game. AEW can try to compete with that, and they might have some wins here and there. But at the end of the day, AEW is never going to be WWE, and that's okay. They're still averaging more viewers than most wrestling companies ever have. They're still having bigger audiences than most companies ever have. They're fine being the number 2 company. They ain't got to compete with WWE and be on WWE's level, man.
Yeah, the problem is that that's how you feel. You know what I mean? That's how you feel, Qwan. You know, that's how I feel. That's how I genuinely feel. But that's not how they feel. You know, they don't.
But do we know that?
No, we know that
for sure.
We know that. They don't put this.
How we know that? How?
Tony Khan don't put his swag on, being like, you know what? We're doing a great job with what we have over here. We really respect WWE. We love what they're doing over here, and this is what we're doing over here. It's always problems. It's always animosity. It's always this, always that, always some slickness, always some major announcement that he's making, always something that we got to pay attention to. It's like, bro, like we don't need that. We know the nuances. It's what you say. It's one thing to say one thing, and then it's another thing to deliver it in a certain way. And the way that Tony Khan delivers things, it's as if he's just not satisfied.
But
He's
we
not
forget
satisfied.
Tony Khan is a promoter. He promoting his product.
That's not a great way to promote. That's not a great way to promote. Let me just. That's not a great way to promote. That's a terrible way to promote. You know, a great way to promote would be like, you know, we do professional wrestling over here, and we would love to have a relationship with WWE. In fact, we would love to have a relationship with any wrestling company that's down to have a relationship with us. That's great promotion. That's called playing the 48 Laws of Power. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing that really well right now, Tony Khan. Instead, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And now you're getting to a point where there's a good amount of your day ones that are beginning to turn and question your product. That's a problem. I see problems. I have to see these problems because I want better. Bro, this is objective. We on a podcast. If WWE is tripping, we be in here and everybody in WWE is getting that slammer. You said it yourself. Facts. I can't wait to get on this pod and chew out WWE if Punk don't pull up. So if AEW is slipping, they got to get chewed out too, man. Ain't no politics in here.
So answer this question then. What side should AEW lie on? Do you want them to be a sports entertainment company, or should they triple down on pro wrestling? What would you want from them?
In my opinion, I want them to be a sports entertainment company. That's facts. I really do. I think that they have the potentiality to really compete if they actually choose to do so. But their actions show me that they don't want to be. And that's cool. If they don't want to be that, then they should just continue to double down on being a pro wrestling company. If you want to fire William Regal and QT Marshall and get rid of your biggest stars ever, cool. If you want to make a big announcement about one of the most talented wrestlers ever being signed, period, to your company, and we've seen him 5 times in that company already, cool. Like, that's good. But don't
shout out to Will Ospreay, man.
Shout out to Will Ospreay. You know what I mean? Cool. You know what I mean? And on top of that, you know why I hated that announcement? No disrespect, Will Ospreay. But it's like, bro, don't come up here and be like, yo, I still got to finish out my time with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but then once I'm done with that, I'll be over
next year, though. Like, we could have saved this for next year. Then,
what are we doing, bro? What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Like, that wouldn't happen in WWE, but, you know, that's just me, though. That's me wanting AEW to reach to that potential. But clearly they don't want that. Clearly they want to be a professional wrestling company.
They should be a professional wrestling company.
Yeah, they should. They absolutely should.
Because that's what people that don't want the corniness or whatever you want to call it look for. So they tune into AEW. And that's where most of the wrestlers sign to, because that's what they want to do. They don't want the scripts and all these storylines.
You know what? Et
cetera, et cetera.
You know what? I agree with Cooley.
You know what? Quan's going to hate me for this, but, you know, AEW is like J. Cole before Forest Hills Drive. Remember when J. Cole was...
Watch what you say, bro.
Remember when J. Cole was out here, you know what I mean, wearing chains... You know what I mean? And had on like, you know, it had on like the Gucci, like, you know, slippers and
the Versace on the red carpet.
On the Versace on the red carpet. You know what I mean? Trying to be something that he wasn't, you know what I mean? And then once he got to Forest Hills Drive, he was like, yo, why am I trying to conform to all of these ideals that have been pressured on me? How about I just be who I am and be the artist that I've always been? And now he's bigger than ever. Now he's revered in a light that truly suits who he truly is. And I feel like if AEW could just get past trying to be WWE and just double down on who they really are, which is some not sports entertainment, which is some real pro wrestling guys, we could probably see their true potential rise.
But you just said you want them to do sports entertainment.
Just because I want it doesn't mean that's what they should do. I want Drake to rap on 50,000 Dusty beats, but I don't think he should do it. Like, facts. Like, absolutely not. You know, that's just me being a fan. But, you know, he shouldn't listen to me. He should listen to his product. He's a businessman.
AEW definitely needs to live their truth. Just be a pro wrestling company. Yes. At the end of the day, you're never going to out WWE. WWE is, like I said, they're the mega giant. You're not going to out WWE. And people don't tune in to AEW to see WWE. They want an alternative. So live in that alternative universe. Just be an alternative. Be the place that we turn on to watch incredible matches. We don't care if there's a storyline there or not, which, I mean, we just saw Swerve versus Hangman. That incredible storyline with that made that match so much better. Because storylines are kind of, you know, what we look for. But at the end of the day, that's what WWE is known for. So leave that all behind. Live in being the company that people go to see great wrestling. Be an alternative, because why would I watch AEW if they're doing the same thing that WWE is doing when WWE is right there on the other channel?
I feel like all elite should just really be about who's the best wrestler of all time. And
Facts.
it should be just that.
They should live on that.
They should just live on that. Like everyone, like wins and losses matter. Like they're already kind of doing it, but they should just really live in that. Like forget the storylines, cool. Forget the hatred. Like who's the best?
Like I'm cool with seeing a show where there's like not even a single time of like mic, like no mic time, no storylines, nothing. Just the entire show is just wrestling after wrestling after wrestling. Now, if the ratings tank, so be it. But like at the end of the day, you got to pick a side. You can't have one foot in and one out. But look, before we get off this topic, Sylvan, I do want to speak towards something that you said earlier, because I have an issue with it, because I see the same sentiments from a lot of other fans online. I'm tired of people running with this whole dropped ball or this whole fumble. Like AEW fumbled this person, they fumbled that person, they fumbled this person.
Choose things. Sometimes
things just don't work out. Like for instance, no, just listen. Because I'm on WWE side with this as well as AEW. For instance, I can name two wrestlers, Jade Cargill and Swerve Strickland. There's a specific fan base that says, "Oh, I can't believe Tony Khan fumbled Jade Cargill." At the end of the day, Jade Cargill presents as a star. She looks like $1 million. Her ceiling was what her ceiling was in AEW, because AEW can only get her so far. AEW is a company that focuses on pro wrestling. WWE is more of an entertainment company. And at the end of the day, that's what Jade Cargill wants to do. Jade Cargill wants to be an entertainer. Jade Cargill wants to cross over into Hollywood. Jade Cargill wants to be Storm in like the X-Men franchise. She has these acting aspirations. Her ceiling is much higher in WWE because WWE's bottom line is entertainment. So that doesn't mean that AEW fumbled her. That just means that she's better fit somewhere else. Same thing with Swerve Strickland. I love Swerve Strickland, but the thing that made Swerve Strickland incredible to us, the thing that made him legendary to us, is seeing him take a stapler and staple his chest. It's us seeing Hangman drinking blood from his forehead. It's us seeing Prince Nana dancing with him as he goes into Hangman Page's bedroom and threatens his child. Like that type of stuff is incredible. That's why we like Swerve Strickland. The character Swerve Strickland could never happen in WWE. Like everything that I just mentioned, the stapling your chest, the blood, the threatening the kids, we would never see that in WWE because WWE doesn't do that type of entertainment. The Swerve Strickland character was specifically made for AEW. So no, it doesn't mean that WWE dropped the ball on Swerve Strickland. It just means that Swerve Strickland was better suited elsewhere. It's okay to be better suited elsewhere. Everybody doesn't have to be a dropped ball. I'm so tired of hearing people was a dropped ball. Like I just saw somebody the other day say that Dolph Ziggler was a fumble. Like WWE fumbled Dolph Ziggler. And it's like, bro, Dolph Ziggler, he literally had a Hall of Fame career in WWE. Like he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Just because he didn't have a 10-month WWE championship reign doesn't mean he was a fumble. So can y'all stop that bullshit? I'm so tired of hearing that.
He didn't fumble. AEW did fumble Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. I mean, that's just a fact.
They for sure did.
That's
fumble,
a fact, though. That's a fact.
Punk.
Let's just keep it a stack. I don't think they fumbled Jade Cargill. I just don't.
But
think
in a lot of ways, but like in a lot of, but I could argue in a lot of ways, AEW kind of got Cody Rhodes to where he was, because when Cody Rhodes walked out of WWE, he wasn't where he is now. But when he walked back into WWE, he was an instant star because of that whole AEW run. Let's be honest.
I mean, you're not wrong.
CM Punk, that's like
100%.
Yeah.
And CM Punk, like, at the end of the day, it just didn't work out for him in AEW. Tony Khan did all he could to hold on to CM Punk. He literally gave him his own show, his own locker room, his own arenas to perform in. And it's like, at the end of the day, he just couldn't get along with his coworkers. So it was what it was. He got fired. So be it. But
who was checking for Cody, man, pre-AEW?
I mean,
nobody. He was Stardust. He was doing cartwheels.
Crazy,
and, like,
bro.
Like we didn't care about that.
I mean, I definitely don't. I definitely don't disagree with you, Qwan. You know, two things can also, two things can always be right at the same time. You know, they could be fun. AEW definitely got Cody, exactly, and in a lot of ways, I think AEW got Cody and Punk where they needed to be over at WWE.
That's what I'm saying.
But Tony Khan definitely still fumbled both of them highly, bro. Like 100%. Let's just.
I hate this. There's people out there. There's people out there saying that AEW is fumbling Ricky Starks.
I don't think that's the case. No, I don't think that's the case.
Look, if you're out there and you think that AEW is fumbling Ricky Starks, answer this question for me. Did you know who Ricky Starks was before you started watching AEW? No? then how the fuck are they fumbling him? They introduced you to him. Like, stop.
I feel like the idea of fumbling to me is when you have a top star in your hands and they are clearly a top star and you don't do what needs to be done in order to secure them no matter what. Now, when I look at it, Cody Rhodes was a top star in AEW. Now, what is he the top star in AEW? No, but he was definitely one of those
top stars. Well, it was over him, not Kenny Omega.
I mean, according to them,
I know what you mean. According to that fan base.
According to them,
that fan base wanted to see Kenny. They didn't care.
They apparently they didn't care about Cody, and honestly, I think that Tony bit into that. He was just like, "Yo, I don't want you to be an EVP. Like, we're good over here. We have things going on. We got CM Punk. I don't need to renew this." And he fumbled him. And the same thing happened with CM Punk. In my opinion, it's like, look, you've had these issues with CM Punk, but quite honestly, a big part of these issues is just because you've nurtured an environment that allows your wrestlers to run the asylum, and you're just not really stepping up clear enough as a leader to secure your top draw and your top prospect. And you fumbled him because of that. Those are two clear fumbles to me. Now, when I look at, someone like Jay Cargill, it's like, that's not a fumble to me. Swerve Strickland, not a fumble to me, because Jay Cargill, in my opinion, just wanted more. Swerve Strickland wasn't a top star in WWE. These aren't top stars or top drawing power people that you need to do everything in your power to try to secure. Now, if Drew McIntyre doesn't get renewed in his contract, I might, depending on how he does elsewhere, that could be a fumble, because Drew McIntyre is a top star.
So did WWE fumble Edge by letting him walk across the street?
I mean, Edge is a Hall of Famer. He doesn't really. He's past
his
prime.
Yeah, they didn't secure him, and
I mean that's a different angle though. He's past his prime. It's like you don't really need Edge to have drawing power.
It just sounds like the goalposts be moving.
Not really. Edge is a veteran. Edge is a veteran.
Involved, the goalposts just starts bouncing around the field.
Edge is a veteran. If AEW let go of Sting, I wouldn't be like, oh, they dropped the ball on Sting. It's like, bro, it's Sting. Like, how many more Sting matches do I really want to watch right now? No disrespect. Just saying. How many more Edge matches do I really want to watch in WWE? I don't really know. He's kind of went against everybody. Let him. He's a veteran, bro. There's other talent here. There's other things we can be doing. Just saying. Keeping it a stack.
Keeping it a beanstalk. Keeping it beanstalk.
Just saying.
You know what I did fumble though, right?
What?
An amazing college lifestyle that I could have been living back in the day. Wasted in a relationship.
Oh no!
I'm sorry.
I was about to say your name. I was about to say shout out.
I'm kidding.
We want to talk about fumbles, man. Prize picks, bro. I be fumbling prize picks because I had a whole list of picks yesterday in the Discord, and I saw it, and something told me, Qwan, just place this bet. Just place this bet. I ain't do it. Tell me why every single bet hit. Like, it was just green straight across. I could have had like $5,000 in my bank account, but I didn't do it. I was overpriced picks. I was tired of losing, and now look, I fumbled. That's a fumble.
I did a couple today.
That's a wild fumble, low key.
I did a couple today. Hopefully they hit.
Yeah, you did the ones Tone sent in the group chat.
Yeah,
hey,
that's like a wreck.
We got the we on the same accord right now, bro. So we either gonna win or are we gonna die trying, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But yeah, let us know down below how y'all feel. Should AEW try to cater towards sports entertainment and being WWE Junior, or should they live and die in pro wrestling, which has been their bottom line from the beginning? Let us know how you feel down below. Now, fellas, we got to talk about CM Punk's return promo, man. I've been trying to dodge it. I've been trying to dodge it this entire time. I didn't want to bring it up. But we have to talk about that return promo. That return promo was phony as hell. And like, I understood it. I understood it. I understood it because WWE did the same thing with Bray Wyatt. When Bray Wyatt returned from his long hiatus, he came out on SmackDown, but he wasn't Bray Wyatt the wrestler, or he wasn't Bray Wyatt the character. He was Bray Wyatt the person, and he cut a heartfelt promo about missing the crowd and being happy that he was back. And then the show ended. Now, I would have loved Bray Wyatt to come out on his spooky Bray Wyatt character and start a feud, but WWE chose to go a whole different route. I'm cool with that. They did the very same thing for CM Punk this past Monday night because CM Punk came down to the ring, but he wasn't CM Punk the wrestling character. He was CM Punk the person. He pretty much said that he's happy to be home, quote unquote home, And he said he missed the crowd, and he's, you know, it was that was the promo. He didn't start a feud. Yeah. He didn't shoot on anybody. He didn't mention AEW. In fact, he pretended that AEW didn't even exist. He was out there talking like he was. He was out there talking like he was just on his couch for the last 10 years. Like,
yeah, man.
To me, it felt phony, bro. It felt phony.
Why?
Like, because CM Punk has done nothing but trash WWE everywhere he's went. Like, when he was on that podcast with Cole Cabana, he talked about how WWE was just like this terrible thing. His experience there was awful. Doctors were making him wrestle when he was injured. Like, he hated the experience. He went over to AEW and he talked about being so happy that he's back to pro wrestling, which implied that WWE wasn't pro wrestling. I hate when people do that, by the way. But he had nothing but negativity to spread when it came to WWE. I want to say he was even feuding with MJF at one point. He made a joke about MJF going over to the other side where he can
I remember that.
Main event night 4 of the extravaganza. He was pretty much shitting on WrestleMania. Like, CM Punk has done nothing but trash WWE for the last 10 years. So how can you walk back into that company and say, I'm so happy to be home? Really? It's like, come on, bro. Phony. This was a phony promo. I'm not mad at the internet trashing it and calling it garbage. Like, I didn't hate it, but it was definitely phony.
What should it have been? Like, what do you feel like his promo should have been back?
He should have kept it a buck. He should have came out and said, that's right, I'm back, and y'all got to deal with me. Like, I'm sorry, but, you know, it is what it is.
Man.
If any of y'all got a problem with anything I've ever said, come to this ring and get in my face and we can handle it because I'm the best in the world. I can go wherever I want to go. That's how CM Punk should have handled it. I want to see him saying, I'm so happy to be home in this place that I shit on for the last 10 years. This is home. Home is where the heart is. Like, get out of here, bro. Come on, man. Phony. It was phony.
He couldn't do that, Qwan. You know it's in his contract, man. His behavioral clause. Come on. He couldn't do that. But I just feel like Hunter and Nick was just playing it safe. They put PG Punk on a corporate leash.
That's
PG
crazy.
Punk.
PG Punk is crazy.
PG Punk, bro.
PG Punk.
He was on a corporate leash, and you know they were just trying to play it safe. At the end of the day, it was a cool little promo. Go cry me a river, you know.
And they made us wait to the last minute of Raw to see this. Like, I sat through that 3-hour terrible Raw just to see CM Punk cut this phony ass promo. Like, come on, man.
That Raw was ran by Bruce Pritchard.
Bruce Pritchard, yeah, I saw that.
Not a good Raw.
Because apparently Triple H was in LA negotiating some TV
deals,
contracts.
Baby.
Hey, WB is in LA. I'm just saying, bro.
IWC wanted Punk to take shots at AEW. That's just
I ain't gonna lie. I kind of did too.
But
who cares?
Nah.
But I will say, not mentioning AEW and pretending that he was just at home this whole time instead of saying that he was wrestling somewhere else, that was a shot at AEW, to be honest. So it's like you can argue that he did take a shot.
So I have a few thoughts on this. So the first thoughts are there are definitely a lot of cop outs for Punk that I'm gonna give. Number one, there's no real feud for him set in place. The guy just signed, in my opinion. I think obviously they're going to give him Seth, but like, I don't think there's any real, like, you know, concrete plans in terms of, this is how we're going to build to this. And I think they're still trying to deliberate where he's ultimately going to be going. So that's number one.
That's real.
Number two, I did hear that there were NDA clauses between AEW and Punk as well. Apparently he can't speak on them and they can't speak on him. And that was something that was in their original contract. So I guess that's just the case. So that for anybody who wanted him to address AEW, I mean, there's your answer, or maybe a potential answer, because I don't really know if that's true or not. Number three, I think that when you're coming back on a return like that from Survivor Series and you're just so beloved and everybody is so happy to see you back, like, leaning into the babyface role is just pretty safe. And so I do agree with Cooley, like, from a corporate standpoint, like, oh, this is safe. It makes sense. Like, do the safe thing. Like, you don't have to rattle any cages. And I think also number four, he's very conscious of the fact that a lot of people don't like him in that locker room.
So
and
play into that.
I don't think it's smart. It's smart. It's great for us as viewers, but it's not smart for backstage politics. You come in, he's going to have to earn a lot of. It's the same thing with Shawn Michaels, bro. When Shawn Michaels came back in 2002, 2003, he had to be PC for at least 3 to 4 years before he can even start showing like a little bit of the old Shawn Michaels swagger that we were getting like in the DX return. Like he had to really PC it up because it was worse than Punk in my opinion. I feel like nobody really liked Shawn Michaels at that point. Like nobody liked him at all. He had to not only that, he had to apologize. He had to go back and apologize to people and be like, I'm sorry for how I acted, what I did.
He had to rebrand as a Christian, like
bro, like for real,
with a Bible, because before that it was ugly.
Facts. So I think all in all, like, yeah, do I wish he would have came on and be like, I'm the best in the world, and anybody got a problem? Like, yeah, absolutely. For me as a fan, it would have been great, but from a politics business standpoint, it's like, yeah, this makes sense. I get it. And anybody that's mad at it, I don't fault them for it, like, for sure. But also, like, what did you think was going to happen? Like,
it just wasn't true to the CM Punk character to me. It would be like Stone Cold Steve Austin being gone for 10 years at the height of his career, and then walking back into the company and being like, hey guys, I'm so happy to be home. It's like, nah, the Stone Cold Steve Austin character is supposed to come out, say all the catchphrases and the punchlines and the what, and like talk his shit, talk about the people in the back, come out, see him if they got a problem, and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold says so. Like, that's what we want to see from Stone Cold. Bottom line. So, like, I mean, CM Punk, the character, seeing him out there smiling, saying I'm home, it didn't feel like CM Punk, the character. It felt phony. It felt fake.
Damn.
Like, it was obvious. It was obvious this was a money move, which I didn't have a problem with because in the promo he did say, I'm here to make money, not friends. So that was a shot.
Cool.
That was definitely a shot. That was definitely a shot. I wasn't mad at that, but I wanted more of that. Give me more of that. Don't be out here smiling and being a presidential baby face like Cody Rhodes. That's not who you are, CM Punk. You got a smiley baby face. You're not.
We're going to get that.
I think
we're leading up to Royal Rumble.
You're a rebel. His nickname was the Rebel.
I think we're going to still get that. I think it's going to. I don't really know how things are going to play out with how they book him. I think we're going to get Seth Rollins versus him at the Royal Rumble.
I need that.
I think they're gonna just pull the trigger,
and I need him to win. To be honest, I need Punk as champion. Like, why not strike while the iron is hot?
I mean, I feel like it would be great, but I mean, also, I don't know. I don't really know what they're gonna do with Punk, man, because I don't know the plans that they've had already set in stone. Like, I kind of thought Sami Zayn was gonna win the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, that's what it looked like.
And this is the most exciting time for WWE. These next 4 months. So
wait, fellas, I just thought of something. Because I forgot that it was kind of rumored for months that Sami Zayn would win the Rumble. Maybe that's the reason that Kevin Owens didn't sound so thrilled about CM Punk being back. Maybe he feels that, Punk is probably going to get that Mania spot now against Seth Rollins. Yeah. And maybe that's like his friend misses out on his title shot. Like, if that's the case.
It kind of brings me back. It kind of brings me back to how LA Knight was saying he was nervous about his spot,
right?
About other wrestlers, like that's who I instantly thought about. Like, dang, what if this changed like the whole trajectory of everything? Like,
well, it's
it kind of does, right?
It's a lot of talent. It's like look, when we think about the Attitude Era, we had The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Mankind, like, Kane, Shawn Michaels. Like, there is so much talent. Kurt Angle, you know what I mean? Like, Brock Lesnar at a certain point. Like, there's so much talent. Like, this is the brass ring era we've been talking about. We got LA Knight, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. Like, it just Seth Rollins, even a Drew McIntyre. Like, there's so much talent. And it's like,
we got the guys on the bubble. Like, we got, Damian Priest, Gunther. Like, these are all guys that, even Jimmy. Solo.
It's Jimmy Solo. It's like, bro, this is wrestling. This is what wrestling is really all about. It's about who really wants it bad enough. And that's where Triple H comes from. And I'm pretty sure Triple H is the prime example of reaching for that brass ring, man. So, I mean, it may mess up plans, but it's like, this is wrestling, baby. You got to figure it out.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's funny because I literally just thought about how when I mentioned Ultimate Warrior's run in '96, he fought Triple H. I think that was his return match.
That was his return match.
He squashed him in like a minute.
He no-sold the pedigree, right?
Yep.
Triple H pedigreed him. That nigga stood up and was like, ah.
Triple H hated that match too. He was like, bro, that was the worst match I've ever had. Like,
I'm sure.
God, bro.
Yeah, but he had to eat that, you know? He had to eat that.
Yeah, that was during his punishment, right? Because the curtain call happened or whatever.
Yeah, and
yep.
Nobody's going to touch Shawn Michaels, so.
Right.
Yep.
I guess we'll see what happens with Cody, with Punk, man, but I definitely don't think that was the way to bring him back. Like, Survivor Series was one thing, but that promo, man, was phony.
I just think, like, you know, when it really comes down to it, bro, we're going to get – I don't think people understand. We're going to get CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, bro. Do you understand how incredible of a story that's going to be, bro? Do you understand how Paul Heyman, the wise man, like, going against CM Punk? Like, do you understand how crazy that's going to be? It's going to be what people thought that's going to be what people thought CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar was. Like, oh, which side is he going to go? It's like, this is cool. Like, we'll fuck with it. But this is really that, you know? And so, and also, Qwan, you know, Cooley, I know we've been talking about it, but this might be the opening for the Roman face turn.
Yep.
This is the opening we really might, you know, this might be the real opening for the Roman face turn, bro. Yep. So let's see. Infinite possibilities.
But we gotta get past Cody and Roman first, though. Like, I don't want Punk to just come into the company and leapfrog over everybody. Like, we still got plans that we've been like married to the entire year. Like, Punk just can't come in and just win everything all of a sudden. Like, if Cody was gonna get his run, let's give Cody his run. If Sammy was gonna get his run, let's still give him his run. And Damian Priest is still Money in the Bank like holder. Like, so, like, he got to get a run. Still, you can't just drop all that for CM Punk, man.
I think Damian is gonna get the title. I do think.
I hope so.
I really think he's gonna get the title.
He's
not
the
ready,
leader. He's definitely not ready, but I hope so.
I think he will. I think he's the leader. It'll work out. It's a lot, man. I like the atmosphere right now.
I think Finn gonna get it before Damian.
I still think the same thing. I still think they're gonna screw Damian out of that briefcase.
I think Finn is
make
Damian, bro,
and make Damian a super baby face.
Yeah, why not,
bro?
He tall with long. He got braids,
extensions.
Yeah, man, extensions. Put on a classic with.
Hey, he can wrestle.
Yo, he's nice.
Yeah. Damian Priest is nice. He's
had a classic.
Nice.
That nigga had a classic with Bad Bunny, bro.
Oh my God, that's one of the best matches I've ever seen.
A classic with Bad Bunny. It's like, bro,
with
all right.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, you earn my respect.
With Bad Bunny,
the king of pop.
He kind of is, bro. Who else?
No.
Drake's the king of pop now.
No,
over Bad Bunny.
Michael Jackson will forever be the king.
Bro,
of pop.
Michael Jackson dead, bro.
He is.
He got one. Drake got one over on Michael.
That's like saying Biggie the king of New York. He dead.
Yeah, he dead.
Nah, man. Joe Budden is. But look,
Cashy 6'9"
Joe Budden is the king of New York. Oh man,
Joe Budden ain't from New York. He's from Jersey, bro.
From Jersey, dirty.
Oh
Jersey.
Yeah, he is. He is. But look,
jump off Jersey.
King of New York is Ice Spice.
I think Michael Jackson has that trademark, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he might have a trademark.
I think he has King of Pop. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised. Hey, Michael Jackson was a smart man, bro.
That's a real Virgo move.
He was out here buying artists like like royalties and stuff like.
His business mind wasn't talked about enough.
That's supposed to be his man's too, man. That's supposed to be his man's. He was like, "Hey, yo, man, look."
Speaking is supposed to be a man's. So we got a topic on the rundown that.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna move that up.
We might as well get into it.
I'm gonna move that up, bro. I'm about to move that up right now.
Yeah, move that up to the front.
Make that
move that up to the front, bro. Move that up to the front, man.